EastEnders star Jake Wood has issued an apology regarding the claims he uses AI in his art. The actor, who plays Max Branning in the BBC One soap, recently unveiled an exhibition called Icons at the Indelible Fine Art Gallery in Jew Street, Brighton. A number of people began to claim that Jake used artificial intelligence to assist in creating the pieces, which feature well-known faces including David Attenborough and Dame Barbara Windsor. Jake, who is 53, has now taken to Instagram to issue a statement regarding the comments. He wrote, "I think it's important to address some of the discussion surrounding my exhibition currently on display at Indelible Fine Art Gallery. Whilst I acknowledge that two of the images featured in the exhibition, Attenborough and Trump, incorporated AI-generated source imagery, these images were not personally generated by me and already existed prior to being used within the works. These particular pieces were created in 2024 and were not originally intended for inclusion in this exhibition. Since then I have not used AI within my artworks and do not intend to moving forward. I understand the concerns and wider debate around AI in art, and I respect the opinions being expressed." Jake added, "As a relatively new artist, this period has been part of my own creative development in discovering both a style and a process that I am happy with. Inevitably, that journey involves learning, evolving and making mistakes along the way. I would like to apologize to the gallery for any negative commentary directed towards them. Indelible Fine Art are a brilliant small independent gallery in Brighton that supported me and the exhibition in good faith, with the shared intention of creating fun, whilst also raising awareness of dementia and money for Dementia UK." He concluded, "I am really sad that the conversation around the exhibition has shifted in this direction, and may have taken attention away from the cause and the wider intentions behind the show. Raising awareness of dementia and supporting Dementia UK remain incredibly important to me, and, following the recent discussion, 100% of my profits from the exhibition will be donated to the charity." The statement was shared to Jake's Instagram page dedicated to his art. Within the comments, the actor used his personal account to write, "As I have said, as a new artist I have made mistakes. Important thing is to learn from them. Intention was always to raise awareness and money for, at Dementia UK." Jake has played the role of Max Branning in EastEnders on and off since 2006. He returned to Walford in September 2025, ahead of a massive year for the Branning family. At the start of 2026, Max was in the spotlight for a flash-forward episode, which teased a great deal of drama unfolding for the character on his wedding day, in 2027. Fans of EastEnders have been left surprised after actor Jake Wood issued a public apology over a growing controversy surrounding his personal artwork, describing the situation as very sad, and admitting he never intended any harm or misunderstanding. The actor, best known for playing the complex and often controversial Max Branning in the long-running BBC soap, found himself at the center of unexpected backlash after several pieces from his private art collection were shared online without context. What began as a quiet personal passion project quickly escalated into a wider debate about artistic interpretation, celebrity influence, and public responsibility. A private passion becomes public debate. According to sources close to the actor, Jake Wood has been exploring visual art seriously for several years, working in mixed media and abstract expressionism. Friends describe his work as emotional, raw, and intentionally open to interpretation, often reflecting themes of identity, regret, and transformation. However, things took a turn when images of several pieces were reposted on social media platforms with captions suggesting controversial or misleading meanings. Within hours, the artwork was being widely discussed by fans and commentators, with some claiming the pieces carried disturbing undertones, while others defended them as misunderstood artistic expression. As the debate intensified, the conversation quickly moved away from art appreciation and into speculation about Wood's intentions, prompting the actor to address the issue directly. The apology statement, in a heartfelt message shared through his representative, Wood said he was deeply saddened by how the situation had unfolded. "I'm very sad that something I created privately and with personal meaning has caused upset or confusion," he said. "That was never my intention. My art is not meant to send messages of harm or negativity. It is simply a reflection of emotion and experience." He went on to acknowledge the impact of public interpretation in the digital age, noting that once images are shared online, They no longer belong only to the artist. I understand that people will interpret things in their own way, and I respect that. But I would ask that people consider context before drawing conclusions. I never wanted this to become something divisive. The statement ended with a note of apology to fans who may have felt unsettled by the images, as well as appreciation for those who defended his right to creative expression. Reaction from fans and colleagues. The response from the EastEnders fanbase has been divided but largely sympathetic. Many viewers expressed disappointment that the situation had escalated so quickly, pointing out that celebrities often face intense scrutiny, even in their private lives. One longtime fan wrote online, "People forget actors are human. Jake Wood has given years to EastEnders. He shouldn't have to apologize for expressing himself creatively." Others, however, argued that public figures must be mindful of how their work might be perceived once it becomes visible outside the EastEnders community. Several former cast members reportedly reached out privately to support Wood, praising him for addressing the matter calmly, rather than ignoring it or escalating tensions. A production insider commented, "Jake is very respected. People who know him understand this is just a misunderstanding that got blown out of proportion online." The art at the center of the storm. While the exact pieces have not been officially exhibited or publicly titled, descriptions circulating online suggest the artwork included abstract human figures, layered symbolism, and bold emotional contrasts. Art critics weighing in on social media have noted that the interpretations being shared online may not reflect the artist's intent. One commentator described the reaction as a textbook example of how context collapse can distort meaning in digital spaces. They added, "When art is removed from its setting, especially work that is abstract, people will often project their own fears or assumptions onto it." Supporters of Wood have echoed this sentiment, arguing that the controversy says more about online culture than the artwork itself. A broader conversation about celebrity creativity. The incident has sparked wider discussion about how actors and public figures pursue creative outlets outside their primary careers. Many celebrities engage in painting, writing, or music, but rarely receive public attention unless their work is shared widely or interpreted controversially. Cultural commentator Elaine Morgan noted, "We often forget that actors are creative people beyond their roles. When someone like Jake Wood shares personal art, it becomes a public object instantly. That shift can be difficult to navigate." She added that the backlash highlights a growing issue in digital culture. "We live in a time where interpretation spreads faster than explanation." Moving forward, despite the controversy, sources suggest Wood has no plans to step away from either acting or his artistic work. Instead, he is reportedly considering keeping future pieces more private or sharing them in controlled exhibition settings where context can be properly provided. Friends of the actor say he remains focused on his career and appreciative of the support he has received from colleagues and fans who understand the situation. One close associate said, "He's disappointed, of course, but he's also someone who learns from experiences like this. He's not walking away from art. If anything, he's thinking more carefully about how to share it." Final thoughts. While the situation has sparked debate online, many observers believe it will ultimately fade as a misunderstanding amplified by social media dynamics. For Jake Wood, the key message in his apology remains simple. Intention matters, but so does perception. And as one fan put it best, art should make you feel something, but it shouldn't have to destroy someone's reputation in the process. For now, the EastEnders star appears determined to move forward, balancing his acting career with his creative passions, just with a little more caution about what happens when private expression becomes public conversation. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to EastEnders Spoilers Official.